Hello, and welcome to the first episode of this series. It's a little depressing, but basically we're just going to be simulating the 2020 season over and over again in Out of the Park Baseball, and looking at the results, seeing, what kind of weird things happen, who wins the World Series, who wins the MVPs, just how everyone does, maybe talking about how different it is from what we expected. And then for each episode I do, I'm going to be compiling the data from that simulation. And then we're going to kind of look at like the averages at the end of all this. Which this should go on for as long as the MLB is suspended. So for a good while at least. So I'm just going to go ahead and simulate our first season. So here we go. Alright, so I'm just going to be unemployed. I guess I'll play in commissioner mode. I don't think that should affect anything, but I don't see any reason not to, so yeah, here we go. We will autoplay. I don't know when the awards voting is in this game, so we'll just play until after the season is finished, and then we'll simulate ahead to the awards voting after that. If I can, I might look back at the All-Star teams. I'm not sure if I'll be able to do that, but let's see. My Cubbies are off to not a great start, and you hate to see it. The Dodgers, well, actually, they're doing better now. Let's see, any outliers here? The Royals are overperforming early. That's not gonna last. Oh, the Astros have a crazy good start. Same with the Mets. Nolan Arenado is still batting over 400. Oh, well, I shouldn't have said that, I guess. Yeah, the NL Central is looking interesting, because just, like, every team is doing bad. Which, like, I mean, that division's basically just 4 decent teams and 1 really bad team, but I guess when they're all playing each other so much, it makes them all worse. Oh, wow. Matt Shoemaker is neck and neck with Garrett Cole for the lead in, ERA in the American League. That is interesting. Oh, wow. Malix Smith is just racking up stolen bases. That is crazy. High for mid-July. Wow. He could steal 100 bases if he keeps that up. That would be nuts. Look at that compared to the leaders in the National League. Wow. Kind of hit a dry spell there with Malix Smith. It doesn't look like he's gonna have anything historic, but definitely the best we would have seen in a few years. Maybe he's injured or something. He's not really getting any now. That's too bad. That would have been really interesting. I mean, 77 is still a ton in the modern offensive environment, you know? Alright, we've made it to the playoffs. Let's see. The Padres make the playoffs. That's interesting. Angels and the Twins are the wild cards. That makes sense. The Braves and the Astros. Oh, and the Braves sweep the Astros. Wow, okay. An interesting series. Some very unexpected results in this first simulation. I mean, the Braves aren't like the worst team or anything. They're very good. First, let's just look at the standings. Okay, the Mets. 102 wins. That is a very high, we'll say high percentile projection for them. That's pretty much the best they could have done. That being said, it's not super unrealistic or anything, you know. Definitely something that could happen. The Braves winning 100 games and having to take the wildcard spot is not something you would expect in that division, but, well, you know, crazier things have happened. The Phillies underperforming, the Nationals underperforming by a lot, which is surprising when you consider the hot start they got off to, but kind of the inverse of last year when they got off to the really bad start and then, you know, came back and won the World Series. The Marlins sucking as expected. Similar results to last year in the NL Central, except the Reds underperforming a lot. Everyone expected them to get better, but they clearly did not. And the Pirates actually doing better than expected, but in general, nothing really crazy in that division. The Dodgers winning the division as expected. The Padres and the Diamondbacks were the 2 teams who you might expect to see take a wildcard spot and end up being the Padres, which is surprising. They're not they're one of the teams that I would think would have a shot at a wild card, but not one of the top picks, not one of the most likely choices. Let's see. The Marlins are the worst team in the NL. Giants also lose 100 games. That all makes sense. Over in the AL East, the Yankees win the division, like expected. The Red Sox and the Blue Jays, probably both about where you would expect them in real life. Maybe the Blue Jays are performing a little bit, but not by much. Both like 500 teams. The Rays seem to be underperforming. We'll see what caused that in a minute. The Orioles overperforming, to be honest, but it doesn't really make a difference. The Indians win the Central. I'd say the Twins were probably the favorites for that, but you know, it's not a big surprise that the Indians won it, and the Twins took the wildcard spot. Makes sense. This whole division makes sense. The White Sox improve, but not quite to the level of contention. We've got the Astros taking the division, like expected. The A's were probably the favorites to take second in that division, but the Angels always had a shot at it. That's definitely true. The Rangers really underperforming. The worst team in the majors, 108 losses, despite having on paper what could be a decent team. They made some moves in the offseason, a great rotation. A lot went wrong for that to happen, that's for sure. But yeah. And then we've got the playoffs. So the Padres versus the Braves. Let's see. Oops. Let's go over here. Okay, so Patino, the ERA leader. It's the Padres starter. The Braves are the favorite, but both very good teams. Okay, so the Braves won 12-1. It's kind of crazy. It's a lot. So let's see. Trent Grisham ended up batting third for the Padres in the wildcard game. That's a big year for him. Jake Cronenworth, who I'll be honest, I had not heard of before now. Carlos Gomez, still alive, still playing. A little surprising. Austin Hedges. I feel like these hitting stats here are overrating him a little bit, but that defense, I mean, he's probably the best defender in the game. But I'm looking over here. The Braves really broke out. Let's see. A whole lot of doubles. Adeiny Hechavarria hit a home run, which is classic playoff hero, you know, bench player type thing. Mike Soroka, the pitcher, went 3 for 4. That's kind of crazy. And the Padres pitcher went 1 for 1. So pitchers went 4 for 5 on the day, I guess. 4 for 6, I guess, if you include this guy. But Soroka, a very strong start. Classic. Patino, not really. Chris Paddock comes in relief. Gives up 3 runs. Not what you like to see. But yeah, okay. And then, looking back at the other wildcard game, the Twins take it 7-4. Craig Gentry leading off for the Angels. Not ideal. Trout, man, looking at those stats is just, and those ratings, is satisfying. Although he kind of had a down year this year. Only hit 242. At least he played the full season. How'd Rendon do this year? Oh wow, that's a lot worse. That's like not even that good. Interesting. Alright, well, looks like the offense underperformed this year, but maybe not the pitching. Who's Jeremy Lang? I have not even heard of Jeremy Lang starting the wildcard game. Or the Angels didn't do fantastic, but the bullpen is who lost it. Andrew Heaney, through 210 innings, won 20 games, 3.55 ERA. Why is he not starting this game? That's what I want to know. Maybe he wasn't rested up. Let's see. Byron Buxton hitting well from the leadoff spot. Max Kepler with a big game. Went deep twice. A couple of 2-run homers. Wow. That's what you like to see. Gets player of the game for it. All right. Moving on. The division series. We've got the Astros beating the Twins in 5. I don't think I'll go game by game for these. But let's see. Kyle Tucker won the series MVP. Okay. Oh, and we can see stats for the series. So yeah, Kyle Tucker, kind of went off, hitting 2 homers, 10 hits in the 5 games. Who pitched well? McCullers pitched well. Presley was good from the bullpen. Interesting. What I want to know is, where is Justin Verlander? Looks like he was injured. That's not good. Luis Arias hit very well in this series. The offense performing as expected. Looks like the pitching kind of sold them short. You see the Astros scoring 3, 9, 10, 4, and 9 runs. That is not what you want to see in the playoffs. We got the Yankees sweeping the Indians. Gary Sanchez gets series MVP. Hit a couple of homers. Apparently he had a 400 average and a 100 slugging percentage, so I'm not sure exactly how that works. But, let's see. You got some shutdown pitching from the bullpen here. Cole with a strong start. All what you expect. Some decent hitting from the Indians in this series. Lindor not really doing what you want from him. Mercado underperforming. And the pitching just not quite up to it. These last 2 games were close, 7-5, 8-7. Decisive victory for the Yankees. We got the Braves overcoming the Dodgers. And hey, the trend continues. The past 4 years in real life, the Dodgers have been beat by the team that would go on to win the World Series. 2016, they got eliminated by the Cubs. 2017, obviously, they lost the World Series to the Astros. 2018, it was to the Red Sox. Then last year, they lost to the Nationals in the Division Series, who would go on to win the World Series. And in this simulation, the Braves knocked them out and then went on to win the World Series. So, how about that? Let's see. The Dodgers took Game 1, but then the Braves came back and took the last 3. Mookie Betts won Series MVP. I didn't know the Series MVP could be on the losing team. I knew that happened once in the World Series, actually, but I thought that was like an exception. But you can see why he hit very well. How did Kershaw do? Not great. One abbreviated start. Didn't go amazingly for him, but at least they can't put all their sadness on him like they always do. Who looked like kind of a balanced effort from the offense here. Soroka threw a shutout, looks like. Through 6 shutout innings, that is. An all-around solid victory for the Braves. And here the Mets sweep the Cardinals. You love to see it. Do not want the Cardinals getting far at all. Jeff McNeil, one of my favorite players. He wins Series MVP in only 10 at-bats. Interesting. A 200 slugging percentage. I think that means 1,200. I think that's what that is. Gary Sanchez must have been 1,100. It's all starting to make sense in my mind now. Let's see. Wow, they did not use many pitchers at all in this 3-game sweep. None of these games were close either. 7-4, 8-1, 8-0. Cardinals pitching just could not get it done. Looking at you, Dakota Hudson. The Cardinals had Charlie Morton. That is not okay with me. At least he failed. At least he failed when it mattered. Even Jack Flaherty. And they got Chris Archer. Interesting. The Cardinals making some moves. I'll have to look back at all the trades after this. Anyway, looking back, the League Championship Series. The Astros beat the Yankees 4-1. Pretty decisive win. Let's see, 4-2, 13-8. That's a big game. 10-5. The Yankees win 9-8 to stay alive, and then the Astros win 12-5. That is a high-scoring series. The Astros scoring 4, 13, 10, 8, and 12 runs. That is crazy. Somebody went crazy on their team. Looks like Yordan Alvarez did it. Kyle Tucker too hit 4 home runs. Or is that just in the series? It is, yeah. I think, yeah. Wow. 4 home runs just in this series. That is crazy. Absolutely crazy. Yeah, he hit 1 in each of the last 4 games. Wow. Zach Greinke pitching well. He looks like he got injured at the end. The Yankees just could not get it done. Their pitching just absolutely failing all around. Pretty much no one did well. Tanaka did okay. That is it. Everyone did badly. Chapman gave up a ton of runs. I feel kind of bad, but at the same time, I don't feel bad at all. And moving on. The Braves beating the Mets in 7. That's exciting. Braves, Mets, Mets, Braves, Mets, Braves, Braves. That is what you like to see. Acuna taking home the series MVP, hitting a trio of dingers. Let's see. How'd the pitching go? On the pitching side, Soroka continuing to do well, having a very good postseason. 2 starts, only 1 run allowed. On the Mets side, looks like hitting was a bit of an issue for them. Alonso did not show up. Pitching-wise, they did okay. Syndergaard and DeGrom both did pretty well. But, yeah, the offense did not show up. Moving on to the World Series, where the Braves decisively swept the Astros. Swept? They're both correct. Hechavarria hit 2 homers, in addition to the one he hit in the wildcard game. That's kind of cool. Good for him. And... oh, wait. Yeah. Where's Soroka? Soroka at it again. 8 in the 3rd innings, 1 run. He must have been... yeah, he had a fantastic postseason from the looks of it. So the Braves beat the Astros, yeah. I mean, this isn't too crazy of a simulation. Every team that made the playoffs is a team that, you know, could definitely reasonably make the playoffs in real life. Wouldn't be surprised. A sweep in the World Series, I mean, you never really expect that, but it's gotta happen sometimes. Alright, so now we're going to be taking a look at the league leaders, you know, who did well, who did not. Alright, Luis Arias leading the league in batting average. That was a popular pick going into the year. 6.7 wins above replacement. That is crazy good. That is a lot better than pretty much anyone would have predicted, but when you hit that much and play 150 games, that's gonna bring some value. Fernando Tatis, you love to see it. An OPS over 1,000, absolute monster of a year. Just starting right back up where he left off the year before. We got some familiar faces here. Tommy Edman going to the Red Sox, but leading. Oh, this is combined. You know what, let's look at just the National League to start off. Or no. Should we? Let's look at combined. Tommy Edman going to the Red Sox mid-season, but hitting for a high average in both places. Nicky Lopez. Interesting. These are all the leaders in runs batted in. Joey Gallo leads the majors in homers, no one's surprised there. Christian Yelich leading the NL. Yeah, not really the MVP level performance we were seeing last year, but still very good. 54 homers are 54 homers. RBI, you got Lindor leading the AL. Arenado leading the NL. That's a familiar thing to see. Arenado leading the league in RBIs. Imagine 3 or 4 years ago when Lindor was a slap-hitting leadoff hitter who hit for average and not power, saying he would lead the majors in RBIs one day. Crazy. On base percentage, we got Bellinger, we got Soto, not surprising. Arias leads the American League just simply due to his insane average. Slugging percentage, Bellinger with a large lead over everyone else. Highest slugging percentage in the American League is Alex Bregman. Interesting. So OPS, Bellinger just goes absolutely crazy this year. Did not play the full season though. That's why, okay. Hit at an even better rate than he did last year, but sadly could not play the whole year. That would have been good to see. Soto just going crazy once again. Even better than he's been the past couple years. Awesome. Bryce Harper delivering a bit on that massive contract, a bit more than the year before, at least. Francisco Lindor ends up being the best player in the majors by wins above replacement. Bregman also very good. Tatis, the best in the NL, followed by Arenado. Colton Wong, that's a lot of value. He takes the improvements he made last year, just builds on it, hits for a little bit more average, a little bit more power, keeps that defense up. 7.5 wins above replacement. That is crazy. Imagine being told that Colton Wong is gonna be better than Christian Yelich, and Christian Yelich is gonna play 161 games, and Colton Wong is still gonna be better. That is crazy. We got Arias leading the AL in hits, Albies leading the NL. What I like about these simulations, it's just fun to see all these like crazy high numbers, because like, you know, the predictions that projection systems make, the median, they're always like very boring numbers. Like the only player who's projected to have like a really good season is Mike Trout, and he's projected for 8 wins above replacement, which he always does better than, although not in this simulation. But no one is projected to have like a crazy good season, which makes sense. Like you never should assume that someone will have that, but it's just fun to see, you know? You love to see it. Arenado, Lindor leading the majors in total bases, cool. Tatis leading the league in caught stealing. That's not too surprising. He's not even in the top 8 for stolen bases, which is not ideal. But he was a great base runner last year, so I'm sure he'll be able to fix that. Smith stealing 77 bases in 121 games. That is crazy. Imagine if he did not get injured. Wow. Okay, this is a crazy high number. 260 strikeouts. That's more than the record, right? That's got to be more than the record. I'm looking this up. Oh, that just blows the record away. 223 is the record. Gallo and Stanton both break that record. Mondesi strikes out a lot. 278 on base percentage. Not great. Steals 46 bases, which is what you expect to see from him. Trout. Oh, well, he did play the full season. Never mind. I was going to say, I kept assuming he got injured because he wasn't, like, up there in the wins above replacement leaderboard, but, still leads the league in walks. He certainly knows how to do that. God, an average under 250 and an on-base percentage of nearly 400. That is crazy. Wow. Sacrifice hits, sac flies, we don't really care about that. Extra base hits, Albies and Devers leading their leagues. Makes sense. Did Devers lead it last year? He probably did. He hit so many doubles and he hit homers too. Isolated power. Even Gallo cannot do better than Bellinger did this year. He did even better than last year. That is crazy. That is not something you expect to see. But, wow, yeah. OPS plus, again, Bellinger by a large margin. Weighted on base average, win probability added. Bellinger just had a crazy good year. If it wasn't shortened, he would have been the best player in the majors. Let's look at the pitching stats. Alright, Luis Patino leads the majors in ERA. Surprising. 165 innings, but still. That is, not who you would predict. I mean, the rest of these guys, at least 2 through 5, these make sense. Patrick Sandoval, surprising. Castillo, Michaelis even, kind of makes sense. Patino, though, that is a real upset. For wins, Andrew Heaney. I mean, sure, you like to see it, but you do not. No, I don't think anyone thought he was ever going to be a 20-game winner. But you know, that's the whole point of these things, to see what kind of crazy stuff could happen. Cole and DeGrom, the top 2 pitchers in baseball, Everyone expected it. Everyone saw it coming. Doesn't mean it's any less realistic. I don't know why it would mean that. I don't know why I even just said that, because obviously that doesn't make it less realistic. That makes it make more sense, if anything. Just ignore me, please. The pitching WAR totals aren't as high here, but that's usually true anyway, so... Let's see. Cole with 300 strikeouts. Second year in a row. The rate, not as high. The ERA, not as low. Still absolutely dominant. Robbie Ray walking 98 batters. That seems like a very high amount to me. K to walk ratio, Shane Bieber. No one surprised there. Jack Flair, okay. 12.0 strikeouts per 9 leads the league. That seems a little low. But, you know, you got all these guys over 11, I suppose. Home runs allowed. Boyd allowed 40 homers. That is just an excessive amount. Let's see. Fielding independent pitching, my boy, Walker Buehler. Very good. Tino up there again. Runs allowed per 9 WAR. I don't totally understand this stat, I'll be honest. If someone could in the comments explain that to me, because, like, I think it might be less about, like, what you deserved to do, or, like, your, peripheral stats, and more just, like, what actually happened? Maybe? That could be totally off. I don't know. So, Robbie Ray allowing the most walks in baseball and also allowing the lowest opponent average in baseball. Very fitting. What that averages out to, a very good pitcher. Regardless. BABIP, Patrick Sandoval, Andrew Heaney, all these overperforming guys. Makes sense. Garrett Cole, 28 quality starts. That is a lot. I didn't see saves. I must have missed that. Here it is. Oh, no, yeah, I saw it. Not very interesting. Ty Buttrey, saving 40 games. Very surprising. But, you know, closers are crazy. You never know what you're gonna get. Who even is Kevius Sampson? I guess that's why he led the league in saves. Took more L's than anyone else except Matt Boyd. Let's look at some streaks. Let's see what kind of crazy streaks happened this year. Nolan Arenado had a 31-game hitting streak. Raimel Tapia had a 27-game hitting streak. Whoa, this guy went crazy this year. He's on the Rockies, but still. Wow. Interesting. Bellinger had a 6-game home run streak. Cool. Adrian Hauser lost 11 games in a row. That really sucks. I don't know what this means all time. Is that like the all-time record? No, it can't be. All these 2020 things can't be all-time. No, obviously not. That's not the hitting streak record. Okay, never mind. I don't know what I'm talking about. So, I guess the next thing to do... How about this? The best games of the year. No 4-homer games. But, none of these are too good, actually. Not gonna lie. Like, this is pretty lackluster for the best game of the year, you know? Huh. No crazy good games. Let's see. Pitchers. Joey Lucchesi throwing a no-hitter. Nice. And, ooh, Ashton Goudeau throwing a no-hitter. Never even heard of him. Crazy stuff. Was he, was it a home game? Was it in Colorado? No, it was an away game. That makes sense. That is, wow. Cool, good for him. Jack Flaherty struck out 15 in this start. No crazy strikeout totals here or anything. Anyone from the Cubs on here? No. Not surprising. Here we go. The All-Star Game rosters. Chase Anderson went for the Blue Jays. Jose Barrios, Garrett Cole, Casey Mize for the Tigers. They gotta send someone. Garrett Cole had 5 wins above replacement halfway through the season. That is very good. Ohtani went for the Angels. God. Well, Trout probably went too, now that I think about it. The catcher, we got Garver, Grandal, and Tom Murphy. Okay. Renato Nunez going for the... What a bad player to be in the All-Star game. I guess the American League's a little short on first baseman. Got Altuve, Arias, Merrifield, all makes sense. Bregman, Devers, Moncada, Correa, Lindor, Torres, Alvarez, Jimenez, Meadows. This is all business as usual. Anthony Santander. Wow, he went off in the first half. How did he do the full season? Still pretty well. That on-base percentage is a bit low, but wow. He slugged .630 in the first half. That's interesting. Trout, doing great as always. Not as great as always, but doing great, like usual. Nelson Cruz, Joey Gallo, Max Kepler. The only surprising ones on there... Well, I guess I should take another look at the pitchers. Casey Mize, little surprising. Matt Wisler. The Twins have so many pitchers. I did not even know of... I mean, I guess I had heard of Matt Wisler. He was not even someone on my radar in any sense. Going into this, he's surprising. Anthony Banda, that's a little surprising. You never really expect that. Ty Buttrey, that's surprising. Not someone you expect to see in the All-Star game. And then, yeah, Renato Nunez and Anthony Santander. Very surprising. The National League. We got Bumgarner, DeGrom, Brusdar Graterol. Converts to a starter. Does very well. That is crazy. Tyler Mahle? He's like the 4th best Reds starter. Gallegos, Hader, Jansen, Smith, Yates, all make sense. Those are all the top relievers. Will Smith makes sense. Tony Wolters is surprising. Over like Real Muto or... Oh wait, Real Muto is there. But over like, say, Contreras or someone like that. But, you know, it happens. Rizzo, you'll love to see it. These guys both make sense. Albies. Castro making the All-Star game. You love to see it. Dude, Castro, in real life, has a shot at 3,000 hits for his career. This season being cut short makes that harder. And the fact that he's on a good team now, or he won't be a starter, makes that harder. But imagine if this happened in real life, where he, like, actually was good enough to be a starter, got a ton of at-bats, got a ton of hits. Man, that would just be the craziest thing if he got to 3,000 hits. Adam Frazier kind of makes sense. Marte, Wong, Arenado, Turner. Rojas, surprising. But I guess you gotta send someone from the Marlins. Tatis. McCutcheon, nice to see him bounce back. Soto went crazy in the first half. Wow, he got injured. Oh, what? Okay. A classic Bellinger situation over here. He was going crazy, and then he got injured. Wow. That sucks. That sucks. Him and Bellinger both had absolutely nuts stats, and they got taken out. Yelich makes sense. Bellinger, obviously, we've talked about. Grisham breaking out, paying off for the Padres. Betts, no one's surprised. He was injured going into the All-Star break, but he still played 162 games. That is crazy. Charlie Blackmon, Bryce Harper. Yasiel Puig makes the All-Star game for the Giants. Interesting. He still hasn't been signed in real life. Well, a couple surprises on there, but in general, nothing too surprising. Let's look at transactions. That is what I want to see. All these crazy trades. Chris Archer or Griffin Roberts. God, they just want to dump him, don't they? How did Archer do? He was bad for the Pirates. No, he was good for the Pirates. And meh for the Cardinals. Alright, well. That makes sense. Marshall for Wilson. Don't really care about that. Blair to the Brewers. Hey, Kinsler, back to the Cubs. You like to see it. I wish they'd re-signed him. How'd he do? How'd he do? Pretty good. Pretty good. Just like last year. Nice. You like to see it. Tuivalala? Tuivalala? I always thought it was Tuivalala. It's a pretty great name. The Red Sox. Solarte, Jan Hervis, another great name. Jan Hervis Solarte. What a... that's such a good name. Derek Dietrich to the Diamondbacks. Noesi. Ian Kennedy got traded. Makes sense. Oliver Drake. Right? Oliver Drake? Yes. Okay, this is a big one. Charlie Morton to the Cardinals. I guess the Rays got off to a bad start and decided to tank. They got all these prospects back. Classic Rays deal. Let's see. Nothing too interesting. Lance Lynn goes to the White Sox. How did he do? Did decently. Bounced back after a bad start with the Rangers, that's for sure. Gosman. Trevor Bauer went to the Mets. Wow. Who would have thought the Mets would need more pitching depth? But hey, he did bad with the Reds and really good with the Mets, so that definitely worked out for them. Sanchez. Aaron Sanchez. Why would the Mariners trade for Aaron... why would the Royals trade for Aaron Sanchez? Who knows? Kevin Kiermaier went to the Phillies. That makes sense. They don't have a center fielder. They have bad defense. That's a pretty good fit, actually. Especially if the Rays are tanking. Don't really care. Andrew Benintendi to the Cardinals. For Edmund. Oh, wow. Interesting. That's just a straight up... That is surprising to see. Huh. And hey, it really paid off for the Red Sox. Edmund stayed hot with them, and Benintendi cooled right on down. Wow. That would be weird to think of Benintendi not playing for the Red Sox. Any other... Let's see. Deadline trades. Billy Hamilton. No one cares about him. Encarnacion to the Red Sox for Brandon Workman, the closer. How did Encarnacion do? He did about as well as you'd expect. Less power, but still. Hill. Makes sense, right? Rich Hill? Oh, Tim Hill. Never mind. Liam Hendricks. Nothing too crazy. The Bauer trade, the Benintendi trade, I suppose. The Morton trade. All surprising. Nothing too crazy again. Let's, we'll take a look at all the awards, and then after that we'll enter our data, and we will wrap it up for this first simulation. So the batting titles we already looked at. Let's take a look for a second at the Gold Gloves. Pitcher, I don't really know about that. Blake Snell makes sense, I suppose. Roberto Perez, not surprising. He's fantastic. Matt Olson, not surprising. Alberto, I did not know was good at defense, but sure. Chapman, Simmons make a ton of sense. Very good. Very good. Buxton, of course. Aaron Judge, of course. All these great fielders. Mark Canha, I did not know whether he was a good fielder or not, but I certainly believe it. Not as great on the hitting side this year, but at least he was a good fielder. The National League, Pablo Lopez. Again, I don't really know much about pitchers fielding. Real Muto makes sense. Muncy, I didn't really know, but sure. Wong makes sense. Arenado, of course. Freddie Galvis, a little surprising, but I heard he's improved his defense, actually. Bader and Betts makes a ton of sense. Reynolds must have improved his fielding. Alright, cool. Reliever of the year, Michael Givens for the Red Sox. Or, well, for the Orioles and the Red Sox. Wow. He, 1.43 ERA. And, wow, he was really good with the Orioles, got even better with the Red Sox with an 0.90 ERA. That's a good year. Luke Jackson wins it for the National League, 1.62 ERA. No saves, really. And Givens was only the closer for the Orioles, so it's always interesting to see non-closers win Reliever of the Year. Let's see, if we look at the Silver Sluggers, or the Platinum Sticks, as they're called in here. Grandal, not surprising. Alvarez, not surprising. Arias, surprising, but not when you consider the year he had. Although Alvarez you'd expect to win as the DH, but I guess Gurriel was not their first baseman this year. Bregman, not too surprising. Lindor, no. Meadows, makes sense. Trout, of course. Gallo, little surprising, but sure, you like to see it. Miguel Andujar, in only 342 at-bats, as a DH, accrues 4.2 wins above replacement for the Yankees. That's how good of a hitter he was. 23 homers in like half a season. Little more than that. That is really good. If he had been playing third, he would have been worth half that much. He was such a bad fielder. Alright, Silver Sluggers for the National League. DeGrom makes sense. Realmuto makes sense. Freeman, not surprising. Albies makes sense. Arenado wins Gold Glove and Silver Slugger. Tatis, ton of sense. Yelich, of course. Bellinger, of course. Betts, of course. It's just satisfying seeing all this. I don't know. I need baseball things like this, or else I get depressed. Rookie of the Year, Luis Robert, makes perfect sense. He was like the top prospect this year. Not the top prospect, but one of the top prospects. 809 OPS, average and power. Let's see, who else did well? AJ Puck makes sense. Rutschman played in the majors. He got half a season in, and he hit pretty well. Wow. I did not think he would be in the majors already, but it's a simulation, you know. Gavin Lux also makes sense. Of course. Let's see. Only 4 different players got votes. Gratterall makes sense. How did Lux do? Pretty okay. He added some power. I might have voted for Gratterall over him, to be honest, but... Or Patino. Wait, Patino is the one who led the majors in ERA. I would have voted for Patino, but, you know. Barry Francona. Dave Roberts. Classics. Cole wins the American League Cy Young. Not surprising whatsoever. DeGrom wins his 3rd straight Cy Young. Very interesting. Syndergaard comes in 2nd. That is a good one, too, from the Mets. Patino 3rd makes sense. Looking back in the American League, Heaney comes in 2nd. You do not expect that, but cool. And the American League MVP, Alex Bregman. Okay. Barely beats out Lindor, who could have just as easily have won it. But I guess his team made the World Series. I don't know. He's a little bit of a better hitter. And Tatis wins it in the NL. Very cool, very cool. I suppose that's about it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed. I know I just enjoy looking at things like this, seeing these simulations. I'm gonna go enter all this data in a spreadsheet after I finish this recording. And after we do a few episodes of this, we'll be able to look at the data, see what the trends are. So, thank you for watching. Subscribe if you liked. Let me know down below if you like this, if you want to see maybe something else in Out of the Park Baseball, if you want to see more of this. Just feel free to drop a comment. Like this video if you want to see more, of course, and see you next time. Thanks for watching.